Hi, this is Brian Allen, and today we're going to start out with the Speedotron Power Packs. This is for the Studio Lightings class at the Photographic Center Northwest. The Power Packs connect by cable to these heads, we call them, these lights. We have the Speedotron 202s here, and the power will be coming from the pack on the floor to the lights. So I'll put this on the light stand, much as we've done with our other equipment, and tighten it up. We're not going to be using the Force 5 lights, which are monolights. We do have other videos on them. These have the power supply right in the head, and they're just connected to the wall with a cord. There's no cable going to a power pack and then from there connected to the wall. So we're not using these, and also we're trying to keep the equipment for these separate. For example, the power cables are different for these than for the power pack down on the floor. So this is our 1205 power pack, Speedotron power pack for the studio lights. I'm going to adjust it while the power is off and it's disconnected from the wall, which is the best time to do it. A lot of the controls are marked in red against black, which is not my favorite way of doing things. So you have to look closely to see what the labels are. But the most important one is the power switch, which is right here, and it is currently on off. It's a rocker switch, so that would be on, that's off. This is the power for the modeling light, which is also off right now. This is the recycle button, the speed of the recycling, and I have it set on slow. That puts less of a demand on our electrical circuits. The power pack actually has 3 cells, and you can combine them or divide them depending on the situation. For starting out, I recommend dividing them and all the way. So you have 3 separate cells divided. The power for one circuit goes to the A outlets, second circuit goes to B, and the third one to C. The overall power of the pack is regulated by this switch, which could go up to full and down to -2. I'm going to start out in the middle. This is the test button. You can push it to flash. This is where our sync cord is going to go in, or our pocket wizard. We'll be attaching lights to these 2. So it's a divided pack, and we'll just be using these 2 for first assignment. These little switches regulate the modeling lights, and they don't change the power to these circuits, just the brightness of the modeling lights. And I'm going to turn them all to full, so I'm looking at something consistent. And this is where the power will plug in. Once you have your light set up, you can then plug the light into the pack. And you want to do this when the power is off. You never want to plug a cable or disconnect a cable when the power is on for the pack. The cables upstairs are the simple type, and so they don't have a clicker. And what you do is you just match this slot right here with a little notch, a little bump of metal that's right here at the top of each of these. So you match that up with that, go straight in, and push it all the way in. If you get any strong resistance to that, if you can't get it in fully, that is definitely a problem. And hopefully it's a problem with a cord, because we have plenty of cords. But if it's a problem with the pack, that means the pack should be repaired. So you want to be careful that this goes in well. One thing to look at before you put it in is to make sure all those pins look okay, that none of them are blackened or bent, something like that, indicating that it's going to be a poor connection. Okay, let's get this squared up. There we go. Then I could plug in my second light as well to here. With the studio strobes, we're running high voltage to fire the strobes from the power packs to the head. So we only want to connect the cables or disconnect them when the system is turned off as an extra safety precaution. The power is only going through the cable actually when the flash is firing, but we want to have that double layer of safety of having things shut down completely when we attach things or detach things. And as a reminder to you who are using older units, sometimes units can hold a charge even when they're unplugged. And so it's good to hit the test button with those to dump any power that's in the system before you disconnect the lights. Our system is new enough that it does that automatically, but you'll see old timers like me hitting that test button before we disconnect a cable, just to make sure. Got a bunch of holes here and a bunch of pins in here, and get it to slide on. Well, let me match up by eye. There we go. And then we twist the outer ring, and it should pull the unit in, and then it clicks in with a satisfying pop at the end there. So now the light is connected to the power pack. If I was attaching a second light, I would do it now, and then we can turn the power on in the power pack. So now I'm going to set up a second light. I have to get the head. I want to be careful with these cords and not to let them let the ends drop on the floor, especially downstairs with the concrete floor, because these connectors can get bent very easily. Up here with the wood floor, the danger isn't quite as bad, but it's still something to be careful with. Once again, get the pins and the holes lined up. I'm twisting it slightly to try to get it to fit. And then use the yellow dots to figure out how to twist it on. Then this cable is going to go to the pack. Here's the other kind of connector. It has a ring that pulls back, which releases the cable after it's connected. And when you attach it, you just push from behind and that ring snaps over the connector. Once again, you want to line up the slot with the bead in the socket there. So I'm going to line this up with that at the top. And then I just push from behind and get that click, and it's firmly connected. To remove it, often I find I want to put my hand on the handle, then grab the ring and pull it away. And you have to pull from the ring. Okay, I'm putting it back on. If you pull from the back, it's not going to come loose. That's what the ring's for. So you go like that, and it comes loose. So now I'm going to put modifiers on the lights, and I'm thinking of doing a setup for still life photography. So I'm going to put a snoot on one, which will give hard light but not a really big blast of it, and then the other one will have a softbox on it. in both cases, first thing you want to do is arrange things so you're not tripping over on cables, and then take the protective cover off, which twists off. And then what I want to do is match up the notches that are on my light modifier with the posts that are on the front of the light. And then twist them to get them on. So that's one. So now I'm going to do the other one and put a softbox on it. So I take the cover off and I'm going to turn the light. And once again, I've got notches opposite each other on the ring and also posts on the light. And I'm going to get them to match up. So we'll turn this around. And here are the notches on the softbox ring, sometimes called a speed ring. So I try to get those to match up. And I find it easier to do this from behind than in front. If you have two people, yeah, it helps. And I'm holding the red ring so it doesn't turn and twisting the softbox ring onto the posts. Then I can actually turn the red ring if I want to change the orientation of the light. And I think I'll go to vertical. And then tighten up the openings on the back. All the cables and cords for the Speedotrons are in the big drawer in the storage closet. Most of that stuff is for the system we're using today, the power pack and the heads. But something to watch out for is that we have two kinds of power cables in there, and the smaller cables, these guys, go to the Force 5 monolights, the monoblocks, the single units that we've used in other assignments. What we're going for is the bigger power supply for the power pack. So now that we have the cables connected to the lights, we can attach and power up the pack. So once again, I'm using the more robust connector to the wall, and it goes in over here. And then plugging that in to the wall off camera. And now I can turn on my power, turn on my modeling lights, and I can do a test flash. And what else? So we are just using the A channel now. We've got two cables coming off the A channel. That means the lights are going to be getting the same amount of power. Now they may use it differently, so one may be brighter because it's in a reflector, where the other light in a softbox is not going to illuminate things as brightly. But the power going to them is equal. Now there are other more complicated ways to set up your lights, but that's for a different video. For right now, we're just keeping things equal, and we're just using the A channel. The next step is to figure out how much flash you have using the flash meter. That'll be a separate video. Okay, it's time to start packing up, and so I've actually turned off the power, but let's go back to the way it would be at the end of a shoot. And so power's on, modeling lights on. This is my sync cord, which I was running over to my light meter. Here's the other end of it. And you can remove this while the power's on, because this is a low voltage circuit. And to remind you, this is the same place that the Pocket Wizards would plug into. And the Pocket Wizards have an adapter for this socket. They're actually a smaller plug, but then they go on to the 1/4 inch this way. Now, before I mess with anything else, I do have to turn the power off and the modeling lights. And that flash you saw was the pack dumping the power, which is a good thing. With old style packs, you would have to push this ready button to get it to dump, but it's already gone. Once it's powered down, then you can unplug the power cord, and also from the wall, and then unplug the cables going to your lights. And again, the ergonomics favor having something to push away from the direction you're pulling. Then, once the lights have cooled down, you can pack them up as well. Oh, and don't forget to turn off your Pocket Wizards.